Hello everyone, this is Professor Maloney. Today I'm going to be creating a video to demonstrate the Windows 10 training that you must do at the Cengage MindTap site for this class. Now, this is a very important video, and of course I say every video is very important. The reason this one is so important is because your first test, your first exam, will be based on the training that you are required to do at the MindTap site for Windows 10. So having said that, logically, you understand that what I demonstrate today, you must be able to do. Now, this is easy, though. This is very easy. But let me emphasize, let me have a sip of coffee first. Now, let me emphasize that there are 5 exams in this class, as you should know by now. Each exam is worth 10% of your final grade. So you want to do the best you can do on all of your exams, okay? I will be providing a demonstration video for the training on every module that we do. So this is Windows 10. There are a total of 21 tasks in the Windows 10 training assignment. Okay. When we move on to Word, there will be 4 separate training assignments, and cumulatively there will be 126 tasks. So 21 tasks in Windows 10. And there's an exam. There's an exam on it. 126 tasks for Word. So it's like way up here. So I'll get it on my screen. So here's Windows 10. Here, let's actually put Word here, 126. Okay. Then when I get to Excel, when we get to Excel, there will be about 135 tasks. Again, 21 here, 126 here, 135 or so here. Then when we get to Microsoft Access, about 145. When we get to Microsoft PowerPoint, about 155. So each of those modules will have an exam. Logically, the more tasks, the more work you have to do to make sure that you're prepared for the exam. So while there's not a great difference between 126 and 135 and 143 or 145 and 155, they're all pretty well the same. They're all a lot. But Windows 10, there's only 21. So logically, this is the best chance, the easiest chance for you to get a great start in this class. All righty? All right. So I'm going to go over now to the MindTap site and show you how to do all this stuff. I'll share my screen. And I'll hide that. Okay. All right. Now, so I go to our class and I need to go over to MindTap. Remember, every time I go to MindTap, I'm going to click Student Start here. Okay. Then I click Students Click here. And again, you can enable pop-ups so that they're always, that everything opens up in its pop-up by default. You just go over to my enabling pop-ups link here, and it'll basically just open up a Geek Squad link for you, and it'll tell you how to enable pop-ups in Apple products, in Firefox, the browser, in Chrome browser, in Microsoft Edge browser. So you can do that. You can always click just launch the content if you prefer. So now I'm in our class, right? I'll be in our class in a few seconds. All right, so for operating systems, there's an exam. The exam is Windows 10 exam. This exam is based on this training. This exam is based on this training, okay? Now, when you do training, you can literally do each task 100 times or 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times if you have enough hours in the day and seconds in each minute and minutes in each hour, etc. You can just do tons and tons and tons. You can do each training task as many times as you like, okay? But there are also 3 ways to do each task. You must do what we call the apply mode. The apply mode is the one that counts towards your grade. But how can you do an apply mode if you don't know how to do it? So in the case of things you don't know how to do, you can obviously click around, you can Google, etc. But there are 2 other modes that help you do it by telling you what to do. So there's an observe mode and a practice mode. They both play videos and audio files to tell you how to do that particular task. But ultimately, you must do the apply mode or you don't get credit for it. Okay, so let me show you all that now. So Windows 10 training, and I'm going to click the start button over here. Okay, so first thing, remember I mentioned everything opens up in a pop-up. So let's pretend that rather than this being Professor Maloney's computer, which is running Windows 11, but the training is being done in Windows 10, let's pretend I'm one of you guys that has a Mac. Okay, you got a MacBook Pro, and you're using your MacBook to do this training. All right, so your MacBook has a Unix operating system, but you're being trained on a Windows 10 operating system. So even though you're running on a MacBook, you will get the same pop-up window that I'm getting. Okay, and what that means is you're running in what we call a virtual machine. So this screen right here that I'm sort of moving around is a virtual machine running Windows 10, even though my computer is running Windows 11. Okay, and yours may be running a Unix operating system. It may be running a Linux operating system. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're running, as long as you are running the pop-ups by enabling your pop-up blocker, you're running a virtual machine with what you're being trained on. So we're training you on Windows. And you might say, well, why in the heck are we being trained on Windows? I don't even like Windows. First of all, to Professor Maloney, I do like Windows, but it doesn't matter. If you don't, here's the logic. Microsoft products are the #1 products in use in every business in the world today. Now, it doesn't mean that every business is a Windows user and every business uses Microsoft Office products, but most do. And the bigger the business, the more likely they are to be using Microsoft Windows and Microsoft Office. So in this class, you're being trained on Windows 10. You're also being trained on Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, and Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you use Google Docs or you use, Apple Pages and stuff, it doesn't matter what you use, but in this class and in most classes in the school, at most universities, you're being trained to use Windows. Why? Again, because Windows is the #1 system in the world. Okay, so here is the first task. Okay, if you want to see all the tasks, I normally make it, by the way, large, full screen. So that's easier for me to just demonstrate what I want to do, I think. But this is the instructions. So the instructions are always in the bottom right. Okay, and one thing you have to remember, I'm going to pull this up here, but if you're looking at my computer screen, okay, the part down here on the very, very bottom, this is my Windows 11 desktop in my home computer, okay? This one above it, well, this one here is the taskbar in my Windows 10 virtual machine, which I'm running right now, because that is what the Windows 10 training is doing. So if I sort of make this one smaller again, okay? So Windows 11 is this big, the big screen on the bottom. Windows 10 virtual machine is this smaller one above. So when I make this large, it butts up now against the Windows 11, but the Windows 10 part is this black taskbar that you're seeing right here as I move my cursor from right to left, okay? So when they want me to do the start menu, it's this start menu over here. In Windows 11, it's this start menu in the middle of the screen on the very bottom. But for Windows 10, this one here, I don't know why it's not hovering to say Windows 10, but that's Windows 10. All right. Okay. So again, the instructions always pop up in the bottom right up your window, no matter how big your window is. If it's right this size, you still see it here. You can move it around, but you can only move it within the virtual machine, meaning the virtual window. See, I can't make it come over to my Windows 11 computer, which is to the right, left, bottom, and top of this window, since I'm in a small mode again, okay? But within the Windows 10 virtual machine, I can move it around. And that's just because sometimes the instructions might be in the way of something that you need to do, so that you can, it's purposefully designed to let you move it, okay? Again, I'm going to go back to big now. All right, so the task instructions here is just shut down Windows 10. Well, I mean, shutting down Windows 10 is nice and easy, obviously, for most people. Excuse me, but my coffee is getting cold. But anyway, so you must do the apply mode, and that because of that, I make the apply mode the default mode. So on my Cengage MindTap website, the apply mode is the default, which means if you don't change it, you're always doing apply. And the reason I do this is because you must do the apply mode to get credit for the activity. Remember, it says counts towards grade. It's only counting towards the grade if you do the apply mode. If you do the practice or the observe modes, that helps you understand how to do the apply mode, but you still need to do that particular mode. Otherwise, you get no credit. You can watch the video that they have. It's only probably about a 30-second video for each task. And let me first tell you what the difference is. So observe is there's a narrator playing a little video, and she tells you what to do, and then she does it, okay? And it's the same instruction, basically shutting down Windows 10 as this example, okay? It's always whatever the instruction is, the observe and practice modes help you to understand how to do it. So observe mode, it's a little video, also with audio file, and they're telling you what to do and how to do it. The practice mode, it's the same video mode, the same video file, but in the audio, they tell you click here, and then they put a little red border around where they want you to click. So the practice mode is a little, you're doing a little bit. The observe mode, you're not doing anything. So the practice mode is closer to the apply mode, but you still don't get credit for it. Again, it's designed to help you. The apply mode is what you must do. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm only going to do about 8 tasks, maybe only 6 or 7, because I don't want to give you, to do too much. You guys have to do these, and they were very easy, just again to say that. But when we get up to Word, I said there'd be 126 tasks in Word. For Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint, my demonstration videos for training will be doing a total of 32 tasks out of the 126 or the 135 or the 143 or the 155, whatever those numbers are. So in other words, I'll do maybe a fourth of them, more or less, okay? But on this one, because there's only 21, I can't do, I could do it, but I don't want to do all 21. And doing 7 or 8 or 6 even is plenty. It's only to help you understand. And you see how easy it is. Just so shutting down Windows 10. All right. Okay. So now remember I said, so in this class, you had 5 quizzes that you did. And those 5 quizzes that you did were in computer concepts. Well, you're going to be doing. If you haven't finished them, they're due, I think, by September 7th, I said. But if you don't do them, then you're losing 1% of your grade for each module quiz that you don't do. There's a total of 5 that you need to do. And by the way, some of those have 60 and 70 questions. So it's important to do all the links that I mentioned in my MindTap overview video, which was the day 2 video, which I'm playing in class on August the 25th. This is a video I'm going to play in class more or less day 5 or day 6. I'm not quite sure yet, but either way, I was just demonstrating this. So Once you finish computer concepts, then you will never have a true-false question on an exam in this class. You'll never have a multiple choice question. Everything that you're doing is based on interactive things, which means, you know how to shut down a computer, then you just point and click at it and do it. Like if I just point right here, that's not, they're not even charging me. But sometimes if I click on something, like if I click over here, they might charge. Say, uh-oh, task incorrect. On a test, I let you get each task wrong only 2 times, and then you've missed the task. So the second time you need to get it right or you missed it. Okay. So shut down Windows 10. All right. So this is my Windows 10 again, this part here. All right. So when it's big, it's this black taskbar down here. So if I want to shut it down, I got to go over here to the start menu. Okay. And you'll see that just above here, this is a power button. And the power button is normally what you would do, obviously, to shut something down. Okay. But let's just say I click on calculator. Well, that's obviously incorrect. So again, in training, you can get it wrong all you want. Calendar, wrong. Okay. Photos, or OneNote in this case. Photos, wrong, 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 wrong. Okay. I can come over here to notifications. I can do anywhere I want to go and click on something. If something pops another window open, because that technically lets you do something else inside of it before it's wrong, they don't mark it wrong until you then click again. So if I click either tablet mode, network, all settings, location, etc., then it'll mark it wrong. So I'll just click network and you'll say incorrect. Okay. But the right answer is to go into your start menu, click on your power, and then you got 3 choices though. So far I'm right, but if I click sleep, or if I click restart, then it's wrong because they want me to shut down Windows 10. All right, so I'll shut it down. All right, so shutting down, I've completed that task. All right, now for this one, it says, again, move your instructions as need be. So sign in to Windows 10 as user 1 and use Windows in all lowercase as the password. So there's 2 things I need to do. I need to sign in as the right user, user 1, and I must type Windows in lowercase as the password. Really 3 things. And then I have to click this enter or submit button. Okay, so if I type Windows right now, I typed Windows. You might say, well, how do you know you got it right? Well, you can click this I over here and hold it down, and it tells you what I typed. I typed Windows in lowercase. There it's Windows in lowercase, so I did it right. If I would have made this first character, let me come over here and go to the first character, a capital W, and then I click this I. Now you see that's wrong because the capital W, even though it spells Windows correctly, yes, but it's not. It's a case sensitive. Passwords are case sensitive. And they said lowercase. So if I do this and I enter it, it'll be wrong. Okay. Why is it wrong? Well, it's wrong because they don't want capital W on Windows. And again, I did that. And they also, though, don't want user 2. So here's the user, see, on the left side. So if I click other user and I type user 3 as an example, that would obviously be wrong as well. And then for the password, I type Windows correctly. And then this time I click it again to see, yeah, that's Windows correctly. I got it right. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. No, of course it's not right because there's no user 3. I mean, there is a user 3 perhaps, even though there's not. But they wanted me to use Windows user 1, right? So you click user 1. You type Windows. Now that I'll do, so I got the right user. Now I'll just say window this time with a capital W. Now I'll do a lowercase, but I won't put the S. So that's just window, okay? Window, and I'll enter it. See, so you got to pay attention. Now, if this was a test, and so this will be a question as an example on the exam, the Windows 10 exam. So you only get 2 tries. I mean, if you miss it, it's missed. But if you get it right on the second try, it's good. If you get it right in the first try, it's even better. It'll only come back to the question if you missed it, okay? All right. Now, so let's get it right now. So I'm on Windows 1, user 1, Windows. Make sure I spelled it correctly. I did, lowercase, and I enter. Okay. So now I still haven't done a observe or a practice yet. Okay, but you see how the test is going to be. It's based on training. So in this case, when there's only 21 tasks, it's pretty easy for you guys to get 100 on this. If you don't get 100, really, you should be extremely disappointed in yourself. Okay, I'll be disappointed with anyone, in anyone that doesn't get 100. And by the way, I don't know if you know why you're in John Maloney's class, but Professor Maloney will tell you that in my classes, even in my programming classes, even in my database classes, even in my cloud computing classes, I normally get half the class make an A. Okay, so half the class. So if there's 28 of you in this class, half of you should get 100. Actually, this is an honors class, so there'll only be about 20 of you. So 10 of you should get an A. All right, 10 of you should get an A or more. There's no requirement that only 10 can get an A. If there's 20 in this class, all 20 of you can get an A as long as you deserve the A, right? And it's easy to get an A in my class. Just follow the instructions. Come to class every day. Do the assignments every day. Don't ever do anything late, and do the assignments a lot more than the minimum number so that you know you're learning from doing it over and over again. All right? Okay, third one. Start the alarms and clock app from the start menu apps list. So start the alarms and clock app. So that's an app, okay? So you might say, oh, I'll go to the Windows Store. Oh, no, not in the Windows Store. It told you from the start menu. So this part of the 21 tasks, they're just focusing on the start menu. So you know, at least go to the start menu, all right? Now it says start the alarms and clock app. Let's see. I don't see it there. Oh, I see it here. Oh, let's just click it and see if it's right. It's right. Yay. Okay. Number 4, start Word 2019 using the start menu. Again, the start menu. So why can't I just right click and say new and then say Word document right here? See, I'll do it that way. Incorrect. Why? Because even though you can right click and you can do new and you can then click Microsoft Word document, that's not what they asked for. They told us. So again, you pay attention, right? Pay attention. So you never can say, Professor, I did it right, but they didn't accept my way. Well, gee whiz, they didn't accept your way because they said start Word 2019 using the start menu. So do what you're told. A lot of times, all of us, including Professor Maloney, we do things a certain way, and then because we know it'll work. Like I do, a lot of control type shortcuts and shift type key shortcuts. But if they don't want me to do that, then I shouldn't do it, right? Because if I do, in all likelihood, it's going to be wrong. So that's another thing to do in your training is to play around. See if you can do it other ways, okay? But anyway, using the start menu. So over here, we come over here. We go into Word. Oh, here's Word up here in the most used. But you see, it's also got an alpha list. So let's just go to the W in the alpha list. Oh, here's Word as well, right down here. So I can do Word here, or I can do Word here. And both of these will work because it is from the start menu. So you can test that though, okay? So I'll first click it here in the most used. So I'll click it. It worked, okay? If I want it to, then I can just go back in again, but I'll show you that another time. I mean, in terms of doing things over and over again. But for now, we'll keep going. I'm only going to do 2 or 3 more. You see how easy it is. Switch to it. But so that, sorry, and now that brings me back to what I was talking about before. Yes, Windows 10 is the exam for you to get 100 on. All right. Bare minimum an A. Bare minimum an A. You want to get 100 on it because there's only 21 tasks that you have to prepare for. When you're preparing for Word, you're preparing by doing 126 tasks. Just think about that, how many tasks that is. And then when you're preparing for Excel, you're going to be doing 135 tasks. And it's always about, I don't know every number, but about 135 tasks. For a test that will have 30 or 35 or perhaps even only 25 questions. So in other words, Like the Windows 10 exam will be 25 questions or less. The Word exam will be at the very most 36 questions. I think one exam I have is 36 questions. All the others are, 31, 32, 33, or maybe 26, 7, 8, 9, 30, or 31. So it's in that range. But which ones am I going to do? You have 130 something to prepare for an Excel, 140 something to prepare for an Access, 150 something to prepare for in PowerPoint. So regardless of how easy it is and how well you know them, there are 4 trainings for Word, 4 trainings for Excel, 4 trainings for Access, and 4 trainings for PowerPoint. And in each of those, the tests, I'll tell you right now a hint, they'll be comprised of about 25% of the test questions will come from Module 1. Another 25% will come from Module 2. Another 25% will come from Module 3. And another 25% will come from Module 4. Now, it doesn't mean it'll be exact. Like for that to happen, if I had a test that had, let's say, 30 questions, well, you can't do 25, 25, 25, and 25 because 4 doesn't go into 30. I could do 7, 7, 8, 8, and that would work. But that's how it would be. It'll be very close. One may have 1 question more or 1 question less than another training, and the next one may have 1 or less, or 1 more or 1 less than the previous one. They all may be 1 or so off. But bottom line is it's about 1/4 from each module. So Windows 10, there's only 1 module. Pretty darn easy, right? The whole test is that training. Anyway, all right. So switch to Excel to display the open workbook. Now here they're not telling me to use the start menu. Okay, so here's start menu and here's Excel, and I could also scroll down to the E and there's Excel. But they're saying switch to Excel to display the open workbook. Okay, so open workbook means on the taskbar, anytime you have something that's open, so you need to understand keywords. Open workbook means it's displayed on the taskbar. Oh, here's a Word document. Well, I already see it. It says consulting letter dot, and that's this. Okay, so I'm on this document, consulting letter dot docx. But there's also a Rockland Financials dot xlsx. Excel file extensions are .xlsx. Word file extensions are .docx. PowerPoint file extensions are .pptx, and Microsoft Access file extensions are .accdb. But anyway, so it says switch to Excel to display the open workbook. So logically, this is an open workbook because as you hover, it says Rockland Financials.xlsx. So it's already open. If you go into it from the start menu and you click Excel, which one is it? Because there's nothing, what you do, this makes you then click another thing. Do you want a blank workbook, or do you then want to browse to find a file? So this would logically be wrong, but I'll do it again just to click it. It says task incorrect. Try again. So switch to Excel, but think what you're doing. You're displaying the open workbook. Where's the open workbook? It's right here, right? So you click that, all right? All right. Now, I'm either stopping after this one or the next one or the one after, but no more than that. So display the desktop without minimizing or closing any windows. Whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's that saying? Whoa, display the desktop. So this is showing, not the instruction, of course, doesn't count, but they're saying without minimizing or closing any windows. See, this window is on top of the desktop, okay? So this thing here, you just kind of look around if you think, and it might or might not let you click. I don't want to click on that yet. I'll click up here to get away. And just see if you can hover. Can't hover. Can't hover. So I want to show the desktop. So you can go down here. This is just going to be a task view. This is going to be your File Explorer. This is going to be Microsoft Edge. This is going to be the Windows Store, Microsoft Store. Then you come over here. This is hidden icons. This is your volume. This is your, your internet. This is your volume. This is your clock. And this thing over here is your notifications. So you say, where is it? And then you say over here, this is a desktop. Is it that? Let me just click on that and see. Oh, it was that. Okay. So that line was the desktop. Okay. So, and that was without clicking something else. All right. All right. Oh, I have not done a observer practice. I'm going to do an observer practice right here. All right. Resize the settings window so that it covers the right side of the desktop. Okay. So settings. This is Windows settings. So this window here, okay, they want me to have it so that it covers the right side of the desktop. Well, logically, I can just click on it and drag it or push it over to the right. But that's probably not what they want me to do. So this time I'm going to demonstrate with the observe. Okay. And after the observe, I'll then do the apply. And then I will do one more. I'll do 8. So that way I'll demonstrate one with the observe. And number 8, I'll demonstrate with the practice. And then, of course, both I'll do the apply. All right. So observe. Now I click this arrow. Remember, I'm in the observe mode. I do not get credit for doing this. And I'll show you afterwards where these are, where the check marks are.
Resize a window to view a larger or smaller portion of the content. You can use this method to make room to view multiple windows at the same time.
Okay.
Point to the right border of the settings window. The pointer becomes a two-headed arrow. Press and hold the left mouse button and drag to the right to make the window larger, and then release the mouse button.
I can't do it, by the way. She's doing everything. Okay, see, she's doing it. And just release. Okay.
The window covers the right side of the desktop.
Okay. Now she'll say, okay, so do you want to do it now by practice? Remember, that was observe. Do you want to now try practice, which also doesn't count? Or do you want to go straight over to apply? Rather than going to practice, I'll just go ahead and do the apply. Okay, so I click apply. Remember, apply I have to do. And now what does it say? Resize the settings window so that it covers the right side of the desktop. She said, come over here. So it turns to where you see an arrow on the left and an arrow on the right. Click and just drag and let go. You've completed the task. Okay. Now, the next one, and this will be the last one I do. And again, I'm purposefully doing one on practice. I purposefully did that one on observe. Resize the start menu so that it is wider. And this is start menu, right? Okay, so again, I can play games or I can just do it, but I'm going to let you guys hear her again. But in this case, with the practice mode, what happens is she tells you what to do, but then you have to do it, but you still don't get credit for it, okay? All right, so let me pull this up. I always like it high for you. All right, so practice. All right, so then you click the arrow, same thing.
Resize the start menu to make more of your tiles visible without scrolling. Click the start button.
Now see, last time in the observe mode, if she says click the start button, she shows it, but then she clicks it, okay? But in the practice, she says it and she shows it. I mean, she puts like the red edge, red border around it, but you have to do it for her to proceed. So in other words, this is sort of teaching us. So I click the start button.
The start menu opens.
Then she tells us what happened.
Drag the right edge of the start menu to the right.
So she's not going to do it. I have to do it. But remember, I'm not getting credit for it because she's telling me what to do. So to drag it, remember, you need the arrow turning a two-headed arrow. One has an arrow to the left, one to the right. I mean, so the one arrow, but with two arrow directions. So click and drag to the right and just wherever. Oh, didn't do it far enough. So she wants me to go further. Okay, now it all shows. As long as you get it all to show, you're okay. Now, though, we have to do it. If I don't do it, okay, watch. I'm going to hit the cancel. Go over here. Oh, I guess because I opened it up, then it says it. But resize this. I wanted you to see that it won't give us credit until we do it right. But you notice all these? They have the green check mark or the white check mark in a green circle. Okay, so I shut down the PC right. I signed into Windows right. I started in blah, blah, blah. But we have the resize. Okay, so now we come over to apply. Click apply. Remember, when you click it, make sure that you're seeing the blue background. If you're here, the blue background is on, like fill color is on practice. Here, it's on observe. You have to have it where you see the blue background as part of that button. All right, so now resize the start menu so that it is wider. So click the start menu, okay? come over here, get the two-headed arrow, click and drag. Now they're all showing, so I don't need to go any further, but I can probably go as far as I want. But as long as you see those, all the tiles up to the right, then you can release. Okay? And now you go back up here, and it'll be marked as right. All righty. All right. I've done plenty for you guys. So you have to do all 21, but what I always recommend is that you do each one 3 or 4, or 5, or even 6 times, especially ones that are a little trickier. So if you, as an example, had just had difficulty with the, let's say, the switch apps, then you can come back, even though you got a check mark on it. And by the way, that check mark stays. But if I want to, let's say, do it again, I'll just do the switch apps one again. So I'm going to click it. Okay. So now I'm on task 5. I've already gotten it correct. But if I get it wrong now, I'm going to purposefully get it wrong and then go back to this thing up here, the task list up here, menu list, whatever it's called, to show you that the check mark is still there, though. In other words, it's okay to do it 2, 3, or 10 times as long as you've gotten it correct. Any other times you do it incorrectly, you still have done the task. Okay, so that's why I say do it 3, 4, 5, or 6 times. All right. Now, of course, there are some though that are just so easy. If like shutting down the computer is so easy for you, then you don't need to do it 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 times. But there are some that you need to do a lot. And again, remember, with Word, with Excel, with Access, and PowerPoint, you're going to have literally 6 times the number of tasks. It's ironic that Windows 10 has 21 tasks. Word has exactly 126. If you multiply 21, well, if you divide 121 into 126, that's exactly 6 times more. 6 times. 6 20s are 120. 6 ones are 6. 120 and 6 are 126. So there are tons more in everything else, right? Okay, anyway, so I'm going to not switch to Excel. I'll go to the Microsoft Store. Incorrect. I'll go to Microsoft Edge. Incorrect. I'll go to the Start menu, and I'll go to Calendar. Incorrect. I'll go, and remember, if this was a test, it's already over. But on training, you do it over and over again. Oh, here's Excel. I'll go to Excel. Remember, that's not right because you got to go to the Open Excel window. So I didn't get it right, okay? But remember, it was right originally. So you click here, see it's still right. So in other words, you can go back to it, and even if you get it wrong, it doesn't undo your check mark, okay? All right. Work hard and get ready for the exam, etc. by working hard. All right. All right. Bye-bye. Stop our training. Have a great